Hello again to all of you wonderful people all across the vast information superhighway to the 104th edition of the weekly series of Weird Mind Newsroom, where of course this week we have once again delving into discussion of all the new releases for the week, the abundance of trailers from the different studios, and a few other news stories to wrap up a busy week. But let's not overly take too much time on these introductions and let's get to talking all things media that came out for another week.
I am death.
Death? We don't want any.
The first of the new releases for this week is seeing the concept that sometimes in this vast world, things may run out of for someone, and the age-old concept of mortality and death will become a concern for many. But what will happen if someone was to cheat the outcome, and how will this have an effect on others? Well, it's what will be a focus of today, as after being dominant for over about a decade and a half now since the last entry, it's time to return to the focus of faith making a call, and it's running in the family as we have the all-new entry of Final Destination with Bloodlines. The film sees a college student that may be experiencing a recurring nightmare that foretells their family's demise and returns home to find the answers from the person who may know the way to prevent it, in a case where a lot of deaths and other outcomes soon follow. Reception of this new film has been very well received, with it being seen as the best reviewed in the franchise, with praise of its performances, the lore, the story, and execution of the deaths, and will appeal to new fans and some older ones as well. If you want to check it out for yourself, then you can catch this new one before death takes you now in cinemas. The second new film for this week is taking us into a new form of genre type of film that seems to be a bit of a rare occasion and started to become new over the last few times, with some connection to another form or release of a different type of media, with this being in the area of the visual album connections. Instead of trying to attempt with a focus on the realm of a TV series that had some very mixed outcome, the artist known as The Weeknd is bringing a new visual perspective from a recent album of theirs with their new film in focus known as Hurry Up Tomorrow. The film will see a fictionalized version of the musician playing an insomniac performer dealing with the paranoia and on the verge of a mental breakdown over the breakup with a former partner, and will soon find himself getting pulled into a nightmarish odyssey with a stranger that's played by Jenna Ortega, who will begin to unravel the very core of his existence. Now, reception on this title is a very divisive one, with critics providing a lot more of a negative reception for its messy concept and focus, confusing narrative performances that leave many to be desired, and may be already seen as so many people's worst movies of the year. Though audiences seem to be a bit more open to the film with a more modest reception and seeing the deeper meaning to the film and the connection to the album. But we want to see which has more the appeal and see which side you are on, then you can catch this new film also out now in cinemas. As for this singular TV show for this week, we have in focus is seeing a return to the love of the game, and how the journey from a small town group continues to grow to be something much bigger than expected, as we return to the small town in Wales for the 4th season of the popular sports documentary series of Welcome to Wrexham. This new season will of course continue the day-to-day management and focus of improving the lives and careers of the Wrexham football team in Wales, being run by Hollywood stars Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, as they deal with the new intense levels of keeping success going with evolved new promotion to a high level of the football leagues. Reception on this new season, like the previous ones, is still well received, with praise for its more in-deep look and real focused take on the business and career to make the team the best it can be. And if you want to check it out for yourself, the first 2 episodes of this new season is available now on Disney Plus, as well as all previous 3 seasons, with a new episode releasing every Thursday on the platform. And as for the final release for this week, is bringing us to the far reaches of the past, to the time where things were dark and grim, and the new form of that time has been corrupted to the spawns and the infernos of the underworld or beyond space and time. And when the hope is lost, it will come down to one man or one man army to do what he does best, and that is to rip and tear. As you've gotten the armor back on for the silent killing machine with the release of the newest entry of the Doom series with Doom the Dark Ages. Set as a prequel to the original 2016 title of the modern series, the new game will follow the Doom Slayer as he becomes the last hope for a kingdom being tormented against the demons and forces from hell in a more medieval setting to boot. The reception on this new entry, like the 2 previous titles in the Revival series, has been very well received, with praise to its gameplay, its narrative, its difficulty and satisfaction, as well as the soundtracks also being well liked as the series is known for. Though some bits of the new features like the mech and flying modes are a bit hit or miss, and some technical difficulties have been an issue, and some see it's kind of a little weaker compared to Internal and 2016, but it's still very entertaining. And if you're up for slaying some demons, then you can play this title now on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And I feel like a case that's probably everything else, but I believe there was one other thing in mind. Oh yeah, it was this. This came out this week. The Mario and Standard Card Edition. Now this is a beautiful set. I haven't seen a lot of reviews for it. I'm not going to really review it, but I will be doing a video on this build and probably do a Clash thing. I figured something out. But yeah, you can check it out there later on the line. But if you want to get it, it's now available on Lego.com and other stuff as well. So look forward to that. But yeah, that's all the new releases that we do have for this week.
Smurf.
So we have another week of a fair amount of trailers, and the first for this week is seeing us getting prepared for a global event. The level of speed, adrenaline, focus, and pressure to be the best in the fastest and most dangerous sport of all, and now giving it a focused story to boot. As the director of Top Gun Maverick has taken us from the skies to the fast speedways with the presumed final trailer for the upcoming film based on F1. The film will follow Sonny Hayes, played by Brad Pitt, who had a terrible crash back in the 1990s and forced to retire from F1 and racing other disciplines. He soon comes out of retirement when an old friend, played by Javier Bardem, asks him to mentor a rookie prodigy, Joshua Pierce, on the major team of AXPZGP, and while they may not get along, they will soon come together to prove their skill and worth in the world's fastest and deadliest sport. Now, it can be seen that in the last few years, we have definitely seen a vast appeal of the sport of racing, and I can agree it is an exciting form to watch and get invested with, and I'm all for giving an appealing story to go with something that has a lot of fans behind it. I know a lot of people are excited by it, and I feel that Joseph Kosinski may help make this work as he did with Top Gun and make it a proper success story of the summer, and I'm all interested in checking this out, and it's not too far away as well at this point, as the film will be racing into cinemas from the 25th of June. Our second trailer for this week is bringing us up to the realm of High Table for another way of the deep world of assassins and the guild that goes by a code that may not be known by the famous one of them all. But in this instance, we're giving a focus to a different prodigy in mind, as Ana de Armas is locked and loaded for revenge with the release of the final trailer for the new film from the world of John Wick with Ballerina. Now, the film will take place in between chapters 3 and 4 of John Wick and focus on Eve Maraco, played by de Armas, a ballerina assassin who trains under the assassin traditions of the Ruska Roma. They use these skills and expertise to hunt down those responsible for the death of her family, and with the possible help of a certain few familiar faces, including one Baba Yaga. It is to say that this series could have died and buried before it had the chance, because it was a kind of sleeper hit back 10 years ago to be released into the world, and let it be a sleeper hit. But how successful and how acclaimed the series has gone with every new installment is to say that every new take on this franchise always just gets better and better and gets more bigger in box office. And personally, I'm looking forward to this case, and I'm hoping it's good as well. Like, it could be sort of a bit hit or miss, but it could still be entertaining in that regards. And I think, honestly, from what they've shown so far, it looks pretty good. And, you know, I hope it gets really cool. And thankfully, it's not too long of a wait left at this point, as we're releasing and geared up for hitting the big screen in about 3 weeks' time, from June 6th. Our third trailer for this week is the focus to a film that has a similar style and form to the previous movie franchise I just talked on, but more of the everyman setting, that no matter where he goes or how mundane his life may be, this everyman will do whatever it takes to make sure that no one hurts his family. As after releasing the original almost 4 years ago and it becoming a sleeper hit itself, this everyman is back to sort business even while on vacation, as we receive the first trailer for the upcoming sequel to Nobody. The film will see the workaholic assassin of Hutch Manziel, played by Bob Odenkirk, taking his family on a much-needed vacation to the small tourist town of Plummerville. However, he will soon find himself in the crosshairs of a corrupt theme park operator, a deep undercover smuggler's cache, corrupt cops, and a bloodthirsty crime boss, and will need to hone his skills to take them down and enjoy his vacation after it all. So it's the case that this film was one of the first few I went to see when the cinemas reopened back during the pandemic, and I will say for a short runtime, it was honestly one of the most entertaining, enjoyable watches that I was all for a follow-up to this. And from this new trailer, I think that looks really good and seems to be going all in on the action, and the inspiration from the everyman John Wick style is really driving the appeal for me, and I'm all excited for this follow-up. And if you're looking forward to a bloody good vacation, then it's not too far away as well, as this film will be releasing into cinemas from the 15th of August. The next trailer on the list that has been in focus, the first of 2 animated movies in focus for this week, that we see the world about to change and about to get a whole lot bluer, and probably can be a drinking game the amount of times the title itself could be said in any of these projects. As after a bit of a gap between the different film adaptations of these characters, we have received a new trailer for the new animated live-action hybrid take on the popular characters of the Smurfs. Now, the film will see the Smurfs of Smurf Village deal with the effects of their wise leader of Papa Smurf be taken by mysterious forces that are caused by the evil wizards of Razamel and Gargamel. That will see Smurfette, that you have to know is being played by Rihanna, led a team on a mission to the real world to save him, and with the help of some new friends and other members of Smurfs, we'll see the Smurfs learn and discover what defines their destiny and help save the universe. Now it's a case that the likes of the IP has seen better days, and many have seen as being overly unnecessary, and while I would say I am not that overly impressed from this trailer, I can understand I'm not the target audience for this film like this, with most of the focus on anything is that Smurf has been played by Rihanna, and she's made new songs for it. But I can say the likes of the visuals when it's just the focus on the animation just look really smooth and appealing, and from the first had a bit of a focus and appeal in different formats, I can give this a bit of a possibility, but at the moment I'm unsure, but we can see when the film gets close to release and probably will well establish a drinking game for taking a shot every time they say the word Smurf when this hits the big screen from July 18th. On the first of the two superhero based trailers for this week and the one TV show for this week is seeing a character that was first introduced all the way back in 2022 in a film that somewhat connects to us to her character in a certain way and will show the case that some things may have to get a bit messy and a bit of an assembly will be required, but will be worth it to carve their own path, as we finally received the trailer for the all-new MCU series that has a big-name director involved with it too, of Ironheart. The series will take place a few days or a bit of time after the events of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and see MIT student Riri Williams return home to Chicago, where she becomes entangled with the enigmatic Parker Robbins, or also known as the Hood, where she will discover secrets that will put technology against magic and soon set her off on a path of danger and adventure. Now, I've been interested in checking this one out for a while, as it's been in the likes of finding the right time to release it, has been made and ready to go for about 2 or 3 years now, and I wonder if this had even been shelved or something at some point, but I'm glad to see it has been given a chance. I think it looks good, and having Ryan Coogler involved with it as well, I feel it'll have some sense of appeal. I mean, Coogler did give us one of the finest pieces of cinema this year, so I'm all for seeing how he was involved with this one. And I will say, the unnecessary complaints and issues being brought up about this is really not necessary or needed, and should give it a chance before judging it straight away, which we'll talk about in the next trailer, but I look forward to checking it out when it releases with a 2 or 3 episode premiere in about a month's time on Disney Plus on June 24th. The second last trailer for this week is the other superhero affair that released on the same day as the previous trailer in focus, and with the perspective going to the other studio in mind, where we have had a focus dealing with a mixed array of the last 10 years and trying to get a balance of focus of the world of heroes created from the DC universe that led to the needing a reboot. And the basis of this next trailer is the one that will hopefully provide a sense of looking up to hope with a form of truth, justice, and a brighter tomorrow. As after a bit of a wait and anticipation, we have finally gotten an all-new trailer for the new film to lead the DCU with Superman. This new take of the popular character will see him have already been established as a superhero, and will see Clark Kent or Superman go on a journey to reconcile with his Kryptonian heritage with the aid of his adoptive family in Kansas, and also deal with the threat of dangers like the powerful Lex Luthor and crossing paths with other powerful metahumans. Now, Superman has always been an interesting character, and how they will go about him can be appealing and some can be a bit weird. Like, I can say that I like Cavill's version of the character, but see some of the things that make him the iconic hero feel a bit out of place, or others feel a little all over the place or unserious or a bit too goofy. But find that balance is always present in these other projects, and this one also provides a lot of appeal and hope that while I really enjoyed the first trailer, this new one is also great, and seeing more and more of the focus now Superman is supposed to be like he is in the comics, it gives me some great hope. In all sense, I'm excited to see this new take, and hopefully will launch a great saga from Gunn's DC universe, but we will see real soon, with the film flying itself into cinemas from July 11th. And our final trailer for this week is another new focus of some animated affair, a bit of a caper, a heist, and a mission, and the focus that may be bad in some way, but they are so good at it and look good while doing it as well. As after the smash success of the original film, Mr. Wolf and his crew are back again with an all-new trailer for the upcoming sequel to The Bad Guys. Now, the film will follow on a few years after the events of the original movie, and we'll see the group finding it difficult to try and adjust and be accepted in society after becoming good guys at the end of the original. But soon they are given their chance to prove their worth with one last job, when they are hired by a group of all-female criminals, or the bad girls, so to say, and will look a way to try and manipulate them going bad, but in reality they're trying to be good and take them down. So it's a case I would be a fan of the original. I like the animation style mix, the characters, the humor and story, and I think it did well in establishing and implementing the source material into a well-made film. And this new one does also look really exciting and interesting, and looks to be going a lot bigger in scope in some regards. Sure, some of the trailer was a little hit or miss at the couple of too many lowbrow jokes, but I gave it will be for the focus of different audiences, and I'm looking forward to this, and hoping it will be as good as the first one, but I'm sure we can find out soon enough when the film sneaks its way into cinemas from August 1st. And with all of that now, that ends all the trailers that we do have for this week.
I need fucking hands!
So the first of the two stories that we do have in focus for this week is with a surprising high level of focus and announcements coming to us based on some release date unveilings, with a few official dates given for some projects, release them on Windows, the odd delay or two in there as well, and may as well try in one that was presumed to be possibly shelved but had a projected release year. We have a bit of discussion on different media forms and release to focus on, so let's get into it. So starting off the focus of those that love a fresh bit of culinary delight and pure stress and anxiety, earlier this week we got the official poster and the confirmation release date for the upcoming 4th season of the award-winning FX series of The Bear, with a releasing in the same week as Ironheart on the 25th of June. Now in all case, I do see the appeal of this series and need to actually finish it off, as me and my mom are in the middle of season 2, I believe, and we've both enjoyed it so far. And from what I've heard, people hope may improve over the previous season, which felt a little too underwhelming, but they may see how it comes about when the order's served up in about a month's time, so I'll see how it goes. But then staying with the streamer of the FX, Hulu, Disney Plus kind of trilogy for these two falling release dates or windows, we have another one heading to our streamers in the summer that may have been mentioned for a bit of time, but has been kept vague about when we'll actually see it. But just earlier this week as well, we were given the official announcement that we are getting the release date for the upcoming new Alien Earth series, with it dropping on August 12th. Now they have been very vague and cryptic with their marketing and their trailers for this whole ordeal, and I'm sure we will see the series will be an appeal as the previous Alien film from last year, but I'm sure we'll get to see over time how it will turn out and probably get a proper idea of plot and trailer real soon for this case with an official release date now. And the last Disney FX Hulu ones for the moment is seeing us return to the world of the quest to stop the gods who will walk amongst us, being put once again in the hands of a half-god teenager, as we got the confirmation earlier this week that the planned 2nd season of the upcoming take on Percy Jackson and the Olympians has been confirmed for releasing this December, lining up with the release of the first in the same month 2 years ago. Now in all sense, I need to actually give a first one a watch, as I've heard both good and bad opinions about the series, but I will sure we'll see more about it in due time and give a look into in due time as well about the whole ordeal, but I'm sure it's probably interesting in that regards. Now moving from one streamer to another as we head over to Amazon Prime for these next two announcements, as the first one will see us dropping in December of this year, and after just recently wrapping filming on it, we got a confirmation that the 2nd season of the popular adaptation of Fallout is coming this Christmas, and from the looks of how the last season ended and the brief teaser that was released with it, it seems we're about to see the popular area of New Vegas get a focus this time around, which I'm sure will have its appeal and hopefully be as good as the first season was as well. It was also not the only confirmation. It was confirmed that a 3rd season of the series has also been renewed and will be on the way soon. Most case I will say, probably given it's been about a 1.5 year gap between season 1 and 2, I will see about late 2026, early 2027 for that release, but we can see in due time, and we'll check out Return to these Wastelands in due time as well. But sticking with Amazon Prime for just one more announcement, there is one other adaptation on the way that is leaping from both the pages of the comics and from the world of animation, as on Tuesday of this week, we got the official beautiful first look at the version of the live-action series based on Spider-Man Noir, and the confirmation that the series will be dropping onto the streamer next year in 2026. I have given the options of both watching it in black and white, and in color. Now I have no idea if this connects to the two recent animated Spider-Verse films or if it's a separate canonicity, but given it is Nicolas Cage back as this variant brings some questions. But there was a small teaser that was floating around and it looks cool as hell, and I know for sure I'm checking this out, and also wanted to get or make my own version of that Spidey suit because Noir suit is cool as hell some point in the future. And now onto the delays for this week, and the first is the only one with a focus of a game delay for this week and the focus of some superheroes, as was announced on Monday or Tuesday of this week that Skydance Studios' upcoming title of Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra has been delayed out of this year and now be hitting onto consoles and PC in early 2026. And personally, I'm fine with this, as we have a lot of other really big games and titles on the way in the next few months for this year, that them taking their time with the polish and making it the best game they can be will all be worth it, I feel. In all sense, it's more than a year since we've heard anything about this, and I'm sure I'll give it a chance in due time when it does come out next year, but I'll keep an eye on this one when it comes out, because so far from what I've seen of the little footage they showed last year, it looked really great. The last of the delays that we have for this week is the focus of two upcoming animated projects coming to us from the studio of Paramount Pictures, with a bit of a delay for the two in focus, as it was announced on Thursday or Friday that the upcoming film of Aang, The Last Airbender was delayed from its initial January 30th, 2026 release all the way now to October 9th of that year instead. Now this has also caused a massive year delay then from the film that was taking the spot from that initial confirmed sequel release date, which of course was for the sequel to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, which now is pushed out of 2026 and arriving almost a year later on September 17th, 2027. Now I'm sure it's a case that'll make sense with making sure that the stories and animation are done properly, as it's important to know, as Charlie and Blitzo said,
animation takes a long time.
Now I'm sure they'll be both in some hopeful appealing projects and as well bring some big hits to the box office, and I say at least take their time with these, and I look forward to watching them when they do release in due time. And then the last of the focus of the release date area is one that was not confirmed and not a delay, but more of a possible shelving of project, and this is coming to us in the form of one of the live action Disney films. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I brought up a story about the drama and ordeal of how the supposed knock-on effects of the live action Snow White and the overblown drama may have seen Disney rethink its strategy to essentially stop making these remakes, with the only ones having a release at this point that will probably change by next week is next week's Lilo and Stitch, which I've heard is one of the best adaptations currently reviewed, and next year's Moana adaptation. While others in mind like Tangled, the Cruella sequel, and Jungle Book sequels and the sorts are on hold or being shelved, and in the next one, this might be one that also could be seeing the possible shelving, as there was reported a little while ago that a live action take on the Disney film of the Aristocats that was being worked on by Questlove may have been silently cancelled. Now, it was announced a while ago that the project with this project, and it seems not aiming for a cinema release from the first bits of story I've heard or seeing for it, and it could have been a Disney Plus release and was aiming for release some point in 2027 according to some sources, but at the moment nothing has been confirmed if this has been cancelled or if it's still in progress, because the likes of them continuing these remakes is currently unclear, which makes it more confusing as they also announced yet another live action Lion King remake, with this being based on the straight to DVD sequel of Simba's Pride, so I have no idea at this point. Now, if I do hear any official word on this being shelved or still going ahead, I will update in a later episode, but it is a confusing one to try and figure out if these remakes are still happening or if they're actually going to shut them down. I have no idea. But I want to know what you make of all these release dates and announcements. Is there any in particular you are most excited about? And if there's any I missed, let me know down below in the comments and I will talk about it. And in the case about the last one, do you see it being cancelled or will it get a full release? As I said, let me know down below and we can talk about them there. And our second and last story will be more of the similar approach I have done for the last few weeks, which is more in the vein of a couple of a hodgepodge of news stories from some casting announcements and updates on a few products that will be all put into this story. I felt best to have it like that. And if there was more one or the other in the choices, I probably would have separated them into separate stories, but you know, here we are. This is my method of things. So let's delve into the remaining random media stories for this week. So first, I will start with what was essentially been going about the last few days that could spell more of a disaster for an upcoming release, and that is with the somewhat still highly anticipated release of the 5th Shrek movie. Now, it has been about 2 months since we've seen the first teaser drop and caused a lot of discussion online about the discourse of the sudden slight altering redesign of the characters, and people had their opinions from some that liked it, some that hated it, and some that I'm sure will probably get used to design overall. I'm kind of in the latter one, but also a slight bit of thinking it's okay, but yeah, more the latter one. But in the case with this discussion was that the teaser was missing a particular regular character in the series that's been around since the second movie, and that was of course with everyone's favorite fearless feline hero of Puss in Boots. But there could be a reason as to why, as according to some rumors, it may be a case that Puss may not even actually appear in this new film. Now at this point, it was unclear if this has been confirmed to be making an appearance, but if suddenly just end up not including him, it will make the likes of the ending of The Last Wish be a bit pointless, and the case of some of the comments made from Harvey Guillen, the voice of Perito from The Last Wish, that he had mentioned something about the new Shrek film, so I feel the case that Puss is probably in this movie, but probably just a slightly smaller role, because I'd be surprised if he's given like the Furious 5 treatment of Kung Fu Panda 4 where they don't show up in the entire movie until the post-credit scene. But as of now, it's just a rumor floating about, and I'm sure we will get more information and some new looks of the film in due time and prep to see if anything does get confirmed about the whole ordeal at a later date, but we shall see. We're moving from a character that is rumored not to appear to one that is confirmed to making a return appearance after being missing for a few years. It seems the case the likes of a plan of getting a team together for fighting back against the corruption of the New York in the Marvel Universe is bringing some members back of a small and short-lived team from a while ago. As after some time and rumors initially for this first season, it was confirmed on Tuesday of this week that Jessica Jones herself of Kristen Ritter will be returning as the character in the upcoming second season of Daredevil Born Again, which I think is a great choice to bring into the likes of the MCU narrative to help in taking down Fisk or other forms of crime and corruption under villains in the city. Now, the likes of wondering if this will also soon see the announcement of the Heroes for Hire of Luke Cage and Iron Fist also making a return in this season is as of now unclear. And in any case, we'll start with the more popular ones to bring in the rest in due time, and how much of a presence she will have in the series is unclear, but I do hope it will lead to a returning team of the Defenders, and even a stretch of some other heroes from a TV series that came before these shows that has a sort of a mixed opinion about canonicity, but has included two well-known heroes, like one uses sort of earthquake seismic shakes, so one is super speed, and one is a freaking Ghost Rider. But I'm sure we can build on it over time, hopefully to include them all in the future, but we'll see in due time about this particular production. The next story is more of an update based on a superhero wall and is with an anticipated follow-up that has had a bit of a rocky development over the last few years, and as of course with the wait for the long-awaited anticipated sequel to The Batman. Now the last time we talked about this project was with the rumor floating around that the film may have lost its director of Matt Reeves due to some delays in the script for the film from the strikes and for some personal reasons, and many were concerned that they may be replaced in the director's seat with someone else and cause a mess for a film that was overly hyped. But it seems that is not the case, as was confirmed and verified by James Gunn himself this week that Reeves is still involved and is the director of this Batman universe, and the case that it's in good news as well is that he'll be turning in his first draft of the script in the next few days by the end of Memorial Day weekend. So it sounds like it's safe hands and that Reeves is back on track and has been given time to really flesh out the project. Now, as I've said when it comes to stuff like this, that it's always important to really allow the creators to have time and control of how things will process, and hearing that it's in the near complete state with the script gives me hope, and there'll be another classic like his first one with the previous films and his previous films beforehand that he did with the Planet of the Apes trilogy reboot series. So I have good faith he has made another great character-driven narrative and will be another great Batman story in all regards. And I'm intrigued to learn more about who the main bad guys or characters will be in this one in due time, as they confirmed apparently the casting for this is going to begin in July, but we will see and hear more updates over these next few weeks and get excited for this take on the Caped Crusader happening after all once again. But speaking of the studio that is connected to the last little story, we have a story of a brand name change, and as with the streaming service connected with HBO and Warner Brothers over the last few years, the streamer has gone through a fair amount of name changes, from HBO to HBO Go to HBO Max and then just to Max. And then just this week, they have once again changed their name back to the 5th or 6th time, with it returning back to HBO Max, which I really don't understand why they kept changing the name every 6 months, but I guess it just happens. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens again in the next few weeks or years time, but we'll see if it does, but you know, who knows what the next name's going to be. But speaking of some name changes or leaked announcements, there's been a bit of a possible accidental leak for the title of the yet untitled Mario movie that is coming out in a year's time. Now, the many questions was whether this was going to be a Mario sequel or was going to be one of the mentioned or discussed spin-offs, like the Donkey Kong Country film or a possible Luigi's Mansion movie. But it seems from a leaked earnings call from Universal that may be a follow-on sequel, as the next film has supposedly been titled as Super Mario World. I guess it makes sense to call on that given that the film teased Yoshi at the end of the credits of the first movie, and that was the game he was introduced in, so expect that to happen. And given the idea that it's not just going to be Yoshi, but it could also introduce the Koopalings, since they were also introduced in this movie game as well, but I think it's also Mario 3, but I don't know. Maybe even Bowser Jr. into the series, but we really do not know as of yet. I'm sure in the next little bit, once we have given a focus and push to the release of the Switch 2, and the whole case for discussion on the pricing of games, the issues, and the whole brick the console for pirating games, which is a whole different thing I'm not getting into, don't want to go too negative on stuff, that they will announce some casting for this next movie or new additions, but I'm sure we will learn in due time about it all before it releases in early April of next year. But speaking of other video game adaptations, we have a bit of an update to one that has been in the works or confirmed to be in development for a little while now, and that is with the adaptation of the popular Xbox series of Gears of War. Now, for the last few years, there's been a discussion of getting the film's version made for Netflix, and many names were thrown about as to who will take on the directing form of this movie. Well, just at the end of this week, we finally got an answer to that, as it was announced that Fall Guy, Bullet Train, and Deadpool 2 and John Wick director of David Leitch will be taking the reins on this adaptation for Netflix, which I feel is a top form choice for this type of film, which will make the action great and provide a great choice of cast and a decent bit of story as well. I'm sure we'll give a look into the film with interest. Now, all they need to provide is a great choice of cast, and I'm sure it'll be a great ordeal, and is left to do is one proper top adaptation is with the casting of Dave Bautista as the main character of Marcus Phoenix, and we are golden. And then we can get some other top talent for the rest of the team as well, but I'm sure we will see more about them in due time once they get it off the ground. And then just staying with Netflix for the final news story for this week is with another project that has been in a long development hell and has got itself a change of distribution and a change of format. So if you're unaware, for the last few years, the musician of Madonna has been trying as much as they can to make, write, and direct a film based on her own life, with Fantastic Four actress Julia Garner set to play the music star herself. But it seems they may have been having trouble getting off the ground, as a film and finding a right story to put into a 2-hour project has been a bit of a difficult challenge, but it seems this new format may be the solution to the issues that's been raised, as was announced on Monday this week that the biopic will now be turned from a film into a limited series and be released on Netflix. Now, it's not the only addition to this, it's also seen that Stranger Things, Adam Project, and Deadpool and Wolverine director Sean Levi is involved as a producer, which I feel is a good choice for this time period settings and style for the series, and I'm sure that it will hopefully find more of a focus and direction with its approach. I'm sure over time as well that she will probably, it could be co-directors with Madonna. We can see how it goes, like give an idea that like really help bring a project forward, but the likes of when we can expect this project is anyone's guess, but I'm sure we will hear more about this over time, and if anything does change in that format approach, then I'll update in a later episode. But with all of them now, I would like to know your own thoughts on all these stories. Do you think Puss in Boots will appear in Shrek 5 or sit this one out? Are you excited for the return of Jessica Jones? Will HBO change the name of their streamer once again? Are you excited about the news of the Batman sequel? Do you think the name is good for the Mario sequel? And who would you cast as some of the other Mario characters like Yoshi, the Koopalings, Wario, Waluigi, and all sort of stuff? Do you think Lich is a good choice for the Gears adaptation? And who would you cast for the characters? And are you interested in the Bio Limited series based on Madonna? Let me know your thoughts on all these items down below, and we can discuss about them there. And with all of that, that's all the news stories that we do have for this week.
And this is the wide world of web.
Okay, and with all of that, that ends episode 104 of Weird Mind Newsroom, and I do hope you enjoyed these ramblings for probably near to a half an hour at this point, but you get the idea. Anyways, let's give a quick rundown updates on some projects on the way. So we'll start on the reviews side of things. So I've done a bit more on The Last of Us 1. It is coming along. I've just been, slowly getting back to try and get a bit of focus and procrastination kind of thing. I'm just like, I'm a very busy man, I'm very tired from coming in from work and stuff like that, working away, working 9 to 5, want a way to make a living, that kind of thing. But it takes some time in regards, but I will have the reviews out probably soon enough. I might aim in the case have the review out for season 1 at least by the end of season 2's release, and then I can get working on season 2's release over time. I'll figure it out, but yeah, those regards. And then I'm going to do some other short form ones I will get reviews on kind of thing, so like, quick fire ones and that stuff. There is one I actually forgot I didn't mention last week that I did watch. I watched the Until Dawn movie. It's okay, and I probably will do as a short one because I don't really have too much to say on it, but I will do quick fire reviews and stuff and that. And it's like, if there's any films you want to see me, give a quick fire review on instead of just like a long form ones like my ones like Transformers and My Robot and stuff like that, kind of like those ones, let me know down below. And in case if you want to give your own insights onto some of my reviews as well, like if you want to have your own input into these reviews and I can add them to the video, let me know as well. I honestly don't mind adding a bit of collaboration and stuff like that kind of things. So yeah, you can see that regards. But yeah, more reviews of them will be coming, long form, short form, all, you get the gist. Gameplay wise as well, I haven't really gotten to any gameplays yet as well. As I mentioned, I've been very busy this week, I'm very tired, and I will probably get back to it at this point. I'm just going to find a day to really sit down and play some games. Like, I'm going to get back to Star Wars, I'm going to get back to Cyberpunk, I'm going to finish off Mario, I'm going to do the Outlast DLC, and I'm going to do all these other ones and stuff like that, so they are coming along. I will figure out the method of like how to record for PC and do Ventilate, of course, because I did mention I was going to do it, and support someone that like, I followed this project for a very long time, and I did have a comment with someone that actually developed the trailer for this and knew someone that worked on the project as well. So if you know the same person, I would like to say hi. But in case since the person that I know about like did all the like designs of the buildings and even some of the character model, and they're very special to me. They still hold a place in my heart. But yeah, other case then in regards as well, all those gameplays will be coming, so look for them. And then the long form stuff, I will be getting around to them at some point as well. The AI audience choice video I'm still going to promise to do. The Rewatchathon, the other long form stuff, I have more ideas I'm going to make eventually in the future, as well as like Harmless Born and everything like that. They're all coming. It's more in case I'm just going to find the time to do it. I want to get a focus test because sometimes these weekends, like with like these long news stories, I want to give a focus, make sure I have everything and like well researched and everything like that, make sure it's all accurate. So sometimes it takes a bit of time to like, focus. I think I'd get done quick, but then, things happen. But yeah, that's basically all that I have in mind for the moment. So yeah, I think I'll leave the episode there for now. So if you enjoyed my content and want to see more from me more frequently, then simply like, subscribe. I still upload new stuff every single week, and I'll try and like, boost more videos this week. And also in case, I'd like to thank you all for crossing the 400 subscriber goal as I reached the case. So I appreciate every single one of you for checking out my stuff. And I was hoping the case that possibly as a possible stretch to get like 100 subs to get 500 subs by my 2-year anniversary on June 1st, but anywhere close is still fine. Any reviews from like long form people that have been here from day one, people that may have left but are always welcome to come back, and some new people as well. So welcome to the community kind of things, and thank you for checking out my stuff. But also in case, let me know your thoughts on everything that was discussed this week down below, like your thoughts on like the new releases, your thoughts on the trailers and all the news stories, and give your thoughts on everything in that regards. I love to hear your thoughts, and I love to have a conversation with everyone that shows their way. And I've few comments to get back to commenting on, but yeah, it's the case. But I think I shall leave it there for now in that regard. So as always, you all stay being wonderful people and have a great day every day, doing many great things, and to keep being you because no one else can do what you do. And of course, to take care of yourself because mental health is very important, and also checking on people that, you know, maybe going through some stuff, and, you know, checking in can make their day. But I've been your host, Sam, and I shall see you all in the next episode. So take care. I'll see you later.